What would be successful for you and your husband with your, how many McDonald's?
We have 4.
You have 4?
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, is success maintaining those 4, or would you like to have 6, or?
No, bigger's not always better. I won't say that. We're very comfortable where we are because we live in Florence, and we do have a 12-year-old that we have to make sure that we cheerleader for. And we have one that's in college that plays football, so we travel every game. So success for us will be to, in the next 5 years, is to maintain what we have and to grow on that. We have a wonderful management team that's very supportive. We do extensive training with our crew to allow them to buy into what we actually talk about when we speak of cash flow and labor, controlling labor and things like that. So if you ever walk in a restaurant, they will know exactly what our standards are and what our times are. But within the 5 years, to continue to grow sales for us, hopefully we can get up to that 4 million mark. We're not there yet, but 5 years from now, I can envision that we will be. And that's just one restaurant, so I'm just doing one. I'm not doing all 4, but just get one of them to that 4 million would be just great.
That's 4 million in annual sales at one?
Just
Wow.
But that's not where we are.
Nathaniel, where do you want AccuStaff in 5 years?
I think our sales is going to continue to grow. I'm hoping in the next 5 years that we will double the sales that we have now. I expect that this trend is going to continue. I think that as companies, and they're going to start back hiring, but I feel they're going to continue to come back to use more and more staffing to handle those needs. And I think that with the tragedy that has happened in the Gulf, I think we're going to go to more energy efficient things. So I'm hoping that those companies that are here is going to employ people, and I think that they're going to employ to see how this trend going to happen with the staffing business. So I'm hoping that our staff at our office will double in the next 5 years. So I can see that trend going up.
Don and I are fortunate that we actually, because our goal was to be a statewide media company, and we've achieved that, and we've achieved it in 20 years, our next goal is to be a national media company. And so how do we move from where we are to the next level is we do it with good people, but we also do it by searching out opportunities, seeking opportunities, and looking at the trends in media. One of the things about media is, young lady on the end, you're in television, so you understand more than anybody else. The reality is that in the last year, you talked about the effects of the economy on terms of business. Well, 40% of all of the media in America, 40% of all the media in America lost during this recession. They lost staff. You look at the morning news, you look at some of the other entities across the state, and in sales, those sales were down by at least 30 to 40% in all of these entities. But what it also did was it created an opportunity, because there are so many new media opportunities out there. We look at the internet, we look at television, local programming. Most people thought, well, I've got to own a television station.
No.
Local programming. We're headed in the same direction as you. We've been doing that for a couple of years. As a matter of fact, Robby worked with us several years ago on this project as well. Local programming, creating local programming, creating an internet presence. These are going to be things that moves us to the next level. And so as we do that, we basically look at all the opportunities. Maybe we do something like the SC Village Voices. We take it to North Carolina Village Voices, Georgia Village Voices, and we go across the country in that way. Or we find a way to consolidate some of the African American newspapers in the state with some on the national level.
And I think if there's anything you can preach to your friends and your sons and daughters and others, it's all about opportunity recognition. You need, as you're observing the world around you, you're working at a business, you see with the vendors, always have your kids ask, can I do it better, faster, more efficiently? It's a habit-forming way of thinking. Too often, especially that our children in middle school, junior high school, and high school, they're in a passive role learning. You know, it's important to learn to write and to speak effectively, but it's more important to learn how to think and to be open to opportunities. I'll guarantee everybody on this panel, if they have employees, they want employees that can think. You have someone in there who might be performing a mechanical task, and he was trained this way. As owner-operators, you need to be open to the idea, listen to the people under you. You want them to be what-if people. What if we did it this way? What if we did that? What if?
Being a new business, on how you break into the community, how do you let people know when you really are just starting out? What's the best way to let people know that you're there and that you have a lot to offer to the community?
Can I just start that? Because I gotta tell you, that is exactly when we see you here 2 years ago. Most people said, wow, you guys just like jumped in. And that is really it. You just start finding out every area, every networking session, every person you talk to. I mean, you talk to people who are even in the grocery line. You start communications. You actively, that is on your mind all the time, everywhere you go. And there are so many networking arenas in the Florence PD area. It's unreal. I mean, honestly, your calendar could be full just going to all of these. But actively having the questions, know the questions that you want, and you constantly are talking to people and asking them. And networking is the main
investments on the short end for the long term. And that's one of the things that we often hurt ourselves. I have to decide whether or not I'm going to go out to dinner and spend $50, or I'm going to pay for an event to attend a $50 ticket, to go to a luncheon, or $100. And when I get there, oftentimes I'm making myself visible, but not being pushy. And if I go for a specific reason to meet that specific person, I will target that specific person. And after the event, I will not just sit in my comfort zone. I'll move to that person that I need to make the connection with. And once you start doing that, often enough, it will become easier and easier. Just like someone said, the grocery line. Someone's in the grocery line. What do you do for a living? And just start the conversation. Oh, that's a nice dress. And it's not phony stuff now. I'm talking about truthful events. You know, who's your hairdresser? Just start a conversation in a non-threatening way so that that person will relax and feel comfortable in speaking with you. And that's what networking, for the most part, is all about, feeling comfortable and getting the information and sharing information that's going to help them, because you want to help people. You help them as well as help yourself.
Right.
So this morning, as I was getting ready to come and stand here and talk to you guys, you know, Ann called me. She said, Ann, what are you doing? I said, Ann, I'm getting ready to go to the speech. She said, okay, I just wanted to make sure you're all right. She said, well, when you get there, you make sure you tell them, if you say anything at all that I said, you make sure I tell them, if they have a dream, to go ahead and go for it. Okay? So with that, I say to you, if you do have a dream, go ahead and pursue your dream. Dream big, but succeed big. Okay? Thank you.